So, part of what we're incorporating into this letter to admin is in the solution, you guys are going to, much like you did for the research practice, find a source that sort of enhances and strengthens what you're trying to ask admin to do with your proposal, with your solution, with your idea to address the issue at hand. I'm going to use an example revolving sports. I heard a lot of that over the week, and I've heard of the senior proposition to add sports. So I wanted to do something that I know is being discussed in school now. This is here for the evidence work, our graphic organizer that I created for you guys. I'm going to sort of briefly go over how to do this. I was just going to screenshot pictures, but then I realized as I was fumbling around looking for something, it might benefit you guys to see what that looks like. So on Schoology, you are going to have an evidence sourcing graphic organizer where you're going to pull the quote or the statistic or whatever you need to strengthen your argument. So here I did the example. You're going to have this with you. My problem, as I said, we need sports at Great Oaks. Without them, students don't care as much about grades and have a higher chance of getting in trouble outside of school. My potential solution would be that teacher-sponsored sports with practice after school and on half-day Tuesdays. With this, students will care more about grades and have less chance of getting in trouble outside of school. This is after you do your 4 pillars. This is after you turn in that graphic organizer. So if you're not done with that, please do that first before you reach this part of your work. So in order to find, I need to prove this, right? I can't just say like, hey, it'll help them have better grades. Hey, it'll help them not get in trouble outside of school. I need some proof here. So just like the graphic organizer we used for your research papers, I sort of tweaked that. I wanted you guys comfortable with another document that is user-friendly, that you've seen before. I automatically went to Google Scholar, and that's why it's here to remind you that that is a great source. I initially typed in school sports and performance, but it was giving me a lot of drug performance, drug-related performance, physically enhancing oneself with drugs. It wasn't as specific as I needed it to be. So I decided to go with school sports and academic performance. What I want to show you guys right now is look to the right column here. If you just click on any that sound good, you might fall into the unfortunate area of needing to log in with a college database access code. If you find something that is really interesting after reading the abstract and put in the solutions, which is usually here, I can go ahead and help you log in with my code since I'm still in college. But I would remain here. HTML works really well, but I prefer the PDFs because then you can use Kami to highlight. So I'm going to click here for the PDF, and then it automatically opens the entire document for you. It's the journal. Here is a tip. A lot of these academic journals are studies. This one I sort of skimmed through before I made this video, and this is exactly what I'm looking for: sports participation and academic performance. It's evidence from a national longitudinal study of adolescent health. So adolescent is teenagers, it's got the sports participation, it's got academic performance. What happens here? What you can do with an article you find that is leaning towards being helpful, check out the abstract. It has been argued that high school sports participation increases motivation and teaches teamwork and self-discipline. Several studies have shown students who participate perform better in school than those who do not. And then it has people that you can click on, their studies. So that could be something that you could use by clicking that study and seeing what opens up there. But what I want to show you guys, this is sort of a cheat in order to really make sure that this would be a good article. Scroll down. Most of these have something called the conclusions. And it says here, while many previous studies have shown that high school athletes receive better grades, have higher educational and occupational aspirations, spend more time doing homework, have a more positive attitude during school than non-athletes, it is not clear if these correlations reflect casual relationships or are driven in whole or in part by unmeasured heterogeneity. Now, I'm not particularly concerned about the relationship about it. I would be more concerned about these studies, right? So I would click through here and see if any of them have a PDF. Or since this is exactly what I want to prove, I could go through here and read and skim and search for strong statistics. And statistics could be in these charts regarding a adolescent and how they do in school based on, did they do a sport or not, and find something. Now, remember, when you find the piece you want to use, you have to copy and paste the link of the website or article here. So I would take that, copy, paste. What is the name of this source? Usually, if it is a PDF like this, you'll be able to copy and paste. If there's an author, copy and paste the author. How do you know this is a reputable source? Hey, if you use Google Scholar, the work has been done for you. Don't forget there's also Newsela. Now, in this notes for source, that's when you're going to find your statistics. That's when you're going to copy and paste the good proof, the evidence in there. Okay, part 2 is going to be where you actually flesh out the paragraph where you're going to incorporate this stuff. And I just reminded you of how to cite it here and here. We did this with research. This is just a refresher and a reminder. Then you go ahead and do your version. But my version will stay up here just so that you guys see what should this look like. When you're ready to begin, you will scroll down, type your problem, which you have already identified, type your solution, which you have already identified earlier this week, and then be searching for your evidence. If you have a question regarding your evidence, is this accurate? Can I use this? DM me the link on Zoom and I will vet it and I will approve it and we'll discuss where we go from there.